sawab for a deceased person. There's a hadith, Abu Huraira narrated, Allah's Messenger ﷺ said, when a person dies, his acts come to an end. Three things: ongoing charity, knowledge by which people benefit, or a righteous children who makes dua for him. This is in Muslim. So we learn this is the three things that will benefit a deceased person. So Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has narrated this hadith, and it is the righteous children who will make dua. But what are the different ways that can benefit the deceased person? So, ongoing charity. When you do charity, whether you spend the money for building a mosque, or whether you give money in hospital, or feeding the poor, feeding the orphans, digging the canal, or putting the water pumps, any kind of benefit regarding the water, supplying the water to people who don't have water, and that is a good reward a deceased person will get. And planting a tree is a reward the deceased person will get. Not only that, propagating the deen, whether it's a masjid or the institutes, of course it should have the correct aqidah, and they are following Quran and Sunnah. That's ongoing charity. If a deceased person didn't do the Hajj, one should perform Hajjatul Badal. When you have done your own Hajj, then you can do it for your parents or grandparents. And regarding reading the Quran, there is not a single hadith which says to read the Quran and do sawab jariya for a deceased person. Khadija radiallahu anha, she died, but Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam never narrated that doing daswa, chaliswa, or barsi. There is no such thing. For for a deceased person, ongoing charity, it could be in any form, whether you spend the money, whether you do it by feeding the poor, orphan, needy person, or you are spending money for the poor people's marriage. It could be any kind of sawab, whether you are providing wheelchairs or anything which will benefit the other people, the poor people, the needy people. And start from your own relatives. Look at them, that you will get to reward for the relatives, and also the reward for the giving. And making dua, righteous children should make lot of dua, not only own children, grandchildren, and make lot of dua. And there is no such thing like collectively making dua. Every person should make dua for their parents and grandparents. And what is the dua? Rabbir hamhuma kama rabbayani saghira. Not only that, Allahumma hayyina wa mayyitina, that also dua you can recite it. Make lot of dua for the deceased person, and whatever the deceased person taught the Quran and the Sunnah, they will get that reward. And you can put the Quran copies in different masjid. When they read it, that reward also a deceased person will get. But there is not a single hadith which says collectively reading the Quran and that sawab will get to the deceased person. But in the hadith, we see a person ask, my mother died, can I do good for the for ongoing charity? Of course, it is narrated, and the charity and the sawab will go to a deceased person's mother. So the Sahaba, they would ask for everything, and they would do that accordingly. So when we see any kind of a narration in that, we should look for the authenticity. Anything regarding that, there is no such thing. When a person dies, all deeds come to an end except for three: ongoing charity, beneficial knowledge, and a righteous children. And Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, you should make lot of dua, whether they are dead or alive, and also one should do lot of sadaqatul jariya. Sadaqah will protect you from the hellfire, not only for us but for the deceased person. You should do lot of sadaqah. And when he didn't do the fasting because of this ailment or for the disease, either you can finish that fast, or you can give the money on that person. But there is no such thing like making up the salah for the missed salah. There is not a single narration regarding that. It's not a authentic narration. So make a lot of dua. Jazakallah khairan kasira.